Hey there everyone, welcome to what could be the last motorcycle vlog of 2024. So this vlog was recorded on October 20th, 2024, and I just finally got some time to put it together. So what I like to do on these motorcycle vlogs is less about the operation of the motorcycle, but more or less taking some time to go somewhere different and hopefully show you some place different that you may or may not have seen before. And as I get more used to this, I'm expanding my radius from my home base and moving out into different towns and perhaps different cities to make this vlog a little bit more interesting from a visual point of view. So in this vlog, we decided to head to Kingston, Ontario, which is not necessarily close to where I live, but not necessarily too far either. It was about an hour and 45 minutes to get here, and we are now in Kingston. We just left the McDonald's after having a quick coffee break and stretching our legs a little bit, and now we're heading up into Kingston and then to the main street in Kingston and the waterfront. So I'll show you that as we move along here. So this is a great time to say welcome viewers to Motorcycology, and for the returning viewers, thanks for coming back, and for any new viewers, thanks for being here. Your support is greatly appreciated. In the vast majority of the videos that I do are all about various cars like C3 Corvettes or Honda CRXs or anything like that. However, the channel is called Motorcycology. It's a play on words from motorcycle and then also motors for cars, and a little bit about psychology as far as keeping a positive approach to these project cars and just moving ahead one step at a time. So that's what I try and do largely with the videos, is to come up with something that I'm working on and think of a good way to film it so that it's repeatable if people are interested in doing the same work at home on their projects. Or failing that, then I try and make it at least a little bit entertaining and interesting for most of you. So moving on to this vlog here, we just left the Highway 401, which is an east-west major highway or freeway that goes through Ontario, and we're heading south into Kingston from the 401, heading towards Lake Ontario, which is one of the Great Lakes, and it's split down the middle with the international border between Canada and the US. So we're on the Canadian side. That being said, from where I live, we often venture into New York State for day trips, or on weekend trips. It's not really that far away. We can leave our house and be into the US in about an hour and 50 minutes. So, and then into places like Watertown and Syracuse as well. They're fairly easy places to get to. So Kingston is very close to the US border into New York State, and this town has a really good reputation of being a very picturesque downtown, so we're going to go check that out. The rider on my left, as you know, is my son. He's a relatively new motorcycle rider after getting a couple licenses this year and lots of practice. So we've been out riding a lot. It's fun and it's interesting to hang out with him and do something that I've been used to doing for quite a long time. So it's fun to share that experience. And he also, I think he's wearing a chin mount Insta360 Pro Ace camera, which takes a different view from what you currently see with me. So what I have is the third person Insta360 that allows you to kind of look at the rider from a third person point of view. When you're wearing the chin mount, it's more like a first person view and gives you a very similar view as if you were riding the motorcycle. So it's really a good camera, and I hope to put that on more vlogs as well as I get used to that camera. So that camera would be great as well if you're trying to show somebody the typical operations that you have to do on a motorcycle, as far as the throttle, the front brake, the clutch, and all those things. There's quite a bit of coordination that happens when you're riding these motorcycles. So the chin mount camera helps out a lot, and you could put some other cameras down by the pegs to see how the shifting goes if you're not used to that. So we'll get some of those video vlogs out that show more than just this third person view in the future. So you'll be able to see the throttle, the brake, the gear shifting and whatnot, which makes it more interesting of a video. So anyway, we're coming down the main street here into Kingston. You're going to see a variety of buildings. To me, it looked like they were relatively small, older houses based on the route that we're coming in. So let's have a look at that, and this will get us more and more closer to downtown, which quite a nice downtown. It's a university town. So Kingston, Ontario has Queen's University here, which is a very respected Canadian university. There's also the Royal Military College of Canada as well, or what is also known as RMC. So Royal Military College of Canada, it's a degree granting institution with a high focus on degrees in engineering and sciences, and then some social sciences and arts degrees as well, but primarily a engineering degree. So at RMC is the place that people would get enrolled as officers in the Canadian Armed Forces, and they would spend 4 years doing their degree, and then once they graduate, as long as they meet conditions like bilingualism and fitness and getting their degree, they will be commissioned as a junior officer. I think it's a second lieutenant and also a acting sub-lieutenant if you're Navy, and off they go to do their job. So great institution if that's what people are interested in doing. And I think the time at university, if you're a military cadet, also counts towards your time in service, which is useful for pension. So you can actually get 4 years of pensionable time while you're at school, which is a huge advantage for early retirement with a pension, I think. So Queen's University is another well-respected Canadian university, and most people have heard of it. So collectively, this town has a lot of university students in it during the school year. And you can kind of see that how the way that the downtown is organized and focused. There's a lot of wider sidewalks. There's a lot of interesting cafes and pubs and private restaurants that you could go into that makes it unique and interesting. And those are some of the highlights of Kingston. Other things in the past were what Kingston was known for was a lot of prisons. So they had some major prisons in the Kingston area or directly in Kingston and surrounding areas. There's still a few major prisons around. One's in Joyceville, which is not too far away from Kingston. It's less than 10 miles away from Kingston, let's say. And in Kingston, some of the maximum security prisons held at one time some of Canadians' famous criminals like Paul Bernardo and Russell Williams. However, at least I think, I'm going to guess, maybe 10 years ago, that prison closed down. It's now open to the public, so people can go in and walk through and check out what that type of environment is like, and at least get to experience it. But it would have been so strange living in a town like this that had so many prisons close by. So that's one of the interesting events for that. So here we are heading into doing a left turn, going on to, I think this place is called Princess Avenue, and that takes us all the way downtown. And you can start seeing the local stores where people can walk down this road and just pop in and get something to eat or buy something. So it's really cool town. It just happened to also be another one of these very awesome fall days. So no clouds in the sky. The temperature was probably in the low 70s. Very pleasant day, and we knew this before we set out. We thought that this, if we're ever going to drive to Kingston, this would be the day to go. So I wasn't expecting to focus in on anything in particular going down here. Part of it was to hang out with my son and do a significant motorcycle ride, and the other part was to expand my vlogging experiences and places that I go that I share on the YouTube channel. So typically I've done Ottawa, a couple of the small towns around Ottawa like Smith Falls and Perth, and now we're heading into Kingston. So just have a look around as we go through. We'll be making a right turn fairly soon and then moving down towards the main street, or let's say the front street in Kingston, just to have a look around. They've got some excellent old buildings that have really, really good architectural features. So we'll check that out. So great day for motorcycling. So this would have been, I think, a Sunday, October 20th. And it was a great way to spend a little bit of time hanging out. So what we basically did was motorcycle down, have a look through the city. Then we parked our motorcycles, we walked around, we grabbed lunch at a restaurant, and then we headed forward as well. And I think in this part of the video I just got cut off by that Elantra. So I'll have to say, folks, if you're ever into motorcycle riding, isn't it a fact that most people don't see you? It's almost as if when you're on a motorcycle, you don't really exist out there. So a lot of cars either don't see you for whatever reason. Maybe it's a psychological thing where they're used to looking at larger vehicles with a couple headlights and they don't necessarily notice a single person on a motorcycle, or they just don't care. So I'm really empathetic to motorcycle riders, and I'm also understanding of those people that are driving cars around and how having motorcycles on the road could be a little bit of an inconvenience from time to time. So I think it goes both ways, and it's just important to be respectful. So this is pretty cool, the interesting old buildings and the way that they've painted them up so it looks new and attractive. So this is part of the reputation of Kingston. It's a clean city, it's a very friendly city, and I would say that it is, like I said before, it has population growth during the school year where you have the university students in town, and that makes for a younger, vibrant feeling city, I think, which is all really good. So we're going to turn right on here when we have a chance, and shortly up there you're going to see the City Hall, or at least that's what I think it is, and it's this old building with columns and a kind of a dome-ish thing on top. So it's probably a clock tower or bell tower, and you can see it up there on the right, which is pretty cool. It's a big building. It's immaculate as far as how they're keeping it, and definitely adds to the uniqueness of this town. So on your left is Lake Ontario. So this is as south as you can get in this city, down to Lake Ontario. Just happened to be a really warm day, so people were out enjoying the sunshine. What I wasn't expecting to see is something that is coming up on my left. I had no idea that this was here in town, and it's only been here for less than 2 years. So shortly, see if you can see what I'm thinking about coming up on the left. So because it's pretty much the water, it's a really unique ship that is here. So this ship is called the SS Keewatin. So I've never seen it before. It looked amazing, and it was definitely the personal highlight for me during this entire trip. So let's see if it's going to poke out through here. Okay, here it is. So it's this white and green ship. It looks like a mini Titanic to me. So that is me checking it out going, oh my God, I never knew this was here. So we're going to circle around this park and then park our motorcycles close to this SS Keewatin. So taking a turn here and just cut the video, and we're back to where this ship is, and we're going to go into the parking lot and park it. And I believe the rest of my vlog after this, or after I leave, is going to be working because I'm doing a voiceover, and as you can see on my helmet, the microphone is sticking out of my helmet, not into it. So very difficult to hear what I said originally. So here we are. Look at this ship here. It was built in Scotland as far as I know, and it spent most of its active life on the Great Lakes. It was towed to Kingston, and it's currently moored in this dry dock, which is filled with water. So it's an ironclad ship, and the siding of it looked so similar to the Titanic. I eventually did a little bit of work on this when I got home to Google it and learn more about it. So this is open for tours, and it's all restored inside. And the interesting thing, it was built a couple of years before the Titanic. So if you ever want to see something in real life that looks very similar to the Titanic, this would be the ship to look at. So I was personally amazed at it. It's a piece of history that to me is simply amazing to walk up and see how it was built. It reminded me of a mini Titanic, although in reality it's quite large, but obviously not as big as the Titanic. Built exactly the same way, I'm convinced of that. All right, so I have my microphone together, and I'm going to leave it to what I was vlogging about as I got going here. So we're heading east in Kingston, and we're going to be heading as far east in Kingston as possible. There's a couple bridge closures, so we had to find our way to a new modern bridge as we head that way. So I never even knew this bridge existed in the town, so I was pleasantly surprised, and it made the entire drive to the eastern side of Kingston a lot more interesting and enjoyable. All right, the visor is coming down, and I'm sure I'm going to start my live vlog very, very soon. That's an amazing building, isn't it? It looks really, really nice. And the plants that they have out there, spectacular. They really, really try and make everything look amazing. Perfect small town to take a motorcycle ride through. I think we pretty much got every red light that was available, which was kind of weird. And there's some new construction going on up here, and we'll be going by the hockey arena, the home of the Kingston Frontenacs. We're back, and we're just going through Kingston, going by the super big arena where the Kingston Frontenacs play. That's coming up on my left, and we're going to be making a left turn up there. So yeah, we'll do that. And this is where we're turning up here, which is perfect. Nice arena. Got some old buildings over there, and a bunch of motorcyclists behind us. So that's good for them. I wonder if we'll get an advance on this. Probably not. Although it'd be nice if we did. If not, we'll wait for these cars to go by. See what happens. I never knew it was called the slush puppy place. Slush puppies are awesome. They're like snow cones almost, or frosties or freezies or something. And we're going up here for a little bit. Food basics. It's been a while since I've been in this part of the town, that's for sure. All right. And a few speed bumps up here. I guess this is some more old parts of Kingston. Nice enough though. Little speed bumps along the way. But those are nice speed bumps. I mean, they're there, but they're not drastic. We're taking a different route to the other side, to the eastern side of Kingston, because there's been a bridge or a causeway that they initially were redoing, and something from an engineering point of view failed. So it's been closed for well over a year, and it's going to be a while as well. So we'll be heading to my my right eventually. Broom factory. Wonder what they do there. Make some brooms. Pretty nice fall day though, to be honest with you. Pretty slow residential speeds through here. Around 25 miles an hour maybe. Thus the speed bumps. And we're almost to where we're gonna be turning pretty soon. Car wash. And hopefully we'll be heading towards a bridge pretty soon. That could be pretty interesting. And I hope to get some highway shots on the way out of here, because it's pretty fun. Lots of twisties, so it's a really nice road to motorcycle on. Oh, always got some issues with that thing still. Kind of cool though. Haven't been down this way, and I'm expecting a bridge, and I think we're coming up to it right now. Got a red light ahead. Not too sure what all this stuff is on the road though. Some sort of oil, which is not a motorcycle or motorcyclist friend, that's for sure. Oh, all right, we turn here. Wow. I didn't even know this thing existed. It looks nice. Kind of a nice little ride around here. Here we go. quite pretty. So if you had a sailboat here or a motorboat, you could sail all the way to the Atlantic Ocean if you wanted. There's enough canals and waterways. From here you'd head up the St. Lawrence River up through Montreal, and then from Montreal up the St. Lawrence to Quebec City, and then out of the St. Lawrence into the Atlantic Ocean, and then you're good to go. It's pretty cool how they have all things connected. This is probably a nice highlight for my son, and we'll be taking up here. We're going to be taking a right-hand turn. What a nice bridge! Got a double lane bike path on the right, and how nice to see all that stuff. And I'm not too sure if this is the road we turn on or the next one. It's going to be the next one. Perfect. So we're going to go right up here. Let's go, bro. Go ahead. Okay. Now we're moving. And I'll go a different way on the way home, kind of. But I will record as much as I can, I think, en route. Certainly getting windy out here, that's for sure. And I want to get out of here pretty soon. I think we'll be okay. It's going to be getting a little bit dark when we get home, but it should be okay. So the round trip that we are going to do today is well over 250 kilometers. Which is a decent enough day trip on a motorcycle, that's for sure. I like this little turn up here, it's pretty fun. Hopefully my son will enjoy it as well. It's more enjoyable going the other way, I find, but this one's still pretty good with, you know, a little bit of banking. Pretty fun. And we're going to be doing a left up here. More guys on motorcycles. Man, I swear, the red lights around here got them all. Not a big deal though. So this is CFB Kingston on the left and the right, and we're just going to pull into this McDonald's up here just to have a bathroom break before we disappear out of here. You know, Watch this gentleman here for sure. Our final bathroom break before we disappear out of here. There we go. Perfect spot here. Wind is definitely picking up out here, that's for sure. Nice to have a health break there. There we go. Canadian Forces Base Kingston. Now we gotta wait for another light. And here we go. Put the visor down. Got my layers on. You don't really notice the wind once you start going. I've got my earbuds in for this trip, so it keeps down, keeps the wind out of your ears, I guess, but you can still hear, but it keeps the decibels down a bit. So we're exiting the east end of Kingston, Ontario, and passing by the base here, which does communications and signals. It's got the Canadian Army Training Center. So we've wrapped up our trip to Kingston, and we're departing via the eastern end of Kingston and taking these country roads on the way home. So we've got about an hour and 45 minutes back to Ottawa, and this is typically the type of road that we'll be riding on. So there's lots of turns, twisties, hills, and nice corners. So that's what we're going to be doing. And with that, I'm going to close this motorcycle vlog on Kingston, Ontario, and my short trip down there. So once again, thanks so much for sticking around and watching this, and your support for the Motorcycology channel. It's greatly appreciated, and we'll see you right back here at Motorcycology next time.